Hello, lovely Hayley. Thank you for joining me today.
You are very welcome. Good morning, Lisa.
So we only saw each other last month, but
Yeah,
really prompted me to think about how long we've known each other and where we actually knew each other from because you've become someone very dear to my heart. And I think we worked it out, it was 12 years ago.
12. Yeah,
Through a mutual friend we had, and you came to see
yeah.
me do a practice talk, which then led to you booking me to speak at your Just Women event. And then since then, we've stayed in touch. And when I think of you, I can't help but smile and feel good.
Oh, bless you,
You are,
sweetheart.
well, so I only think about you when I'm drunk. So,
But you don't drink, so you haven't thought about me in 12 years.
but so there's something about you that radiates light, possibility, positivity. Uh,
Oh,
you're just so bright, and it's not just me that thinks it. It's everybody that comes into contact with you. You've just got this wonderful energy
oh,
that that is addictive to be around,
thank you.
and I particularly wanted people to get to know the heart of you. So the people that I know and love, so all my connections, to get
Yeah.
to know the heart of you, so that they get blessed with the same energy that you oozed. I've made it sound like you've got a rash, haven't I? But anyway,
It's a nice rash to have. It's infectious.
the infectious. So, can you just share for those people that don't know you, um, what you're about? You can say anything you like about this. It doesn't have to be about work, but what's Hayley about? What's important to you
Yeah.
in life?
Do you know what? I do like to have a smile on my face. I think life can get so serious, whether it's in business, whether it's in friendships, family, just the ordinary things. And I just want to, look at life in a very positive outlook and bring fun and laughter where I can. And life can get very serious, and we're in a very serious moment right now in terms of what's happening in the economy. And I just like to find the good in everything, whether that's in people, whether that's in projects. And I just that's just the outlook that I've don't know where it's come from. In some respects it's just there. It's I've
Is it from your family, or is it a need to be positive?
I think a bit of both, really. I mean, I'm very fortunate that I've had the most amazing, I guess, influencers and mentors in my life from a very young age. I've been brought up in a community as such. I've always given myself to good work, to charitable work. I was brought up in church from a very young age. I've always had a very supportive family, and a large family, with extended family. And from a very young age I've been exposed to the gratitude and the good things that I have in life that people don't have. And so rather than sit and be bitter and jealous of other people's circumstances, I've always been very appreciative of what I have, and having that outlook that I've seen other people have, in terms of looking at things in a very positive, kind light, if you like.
Mm. Well, I mean, it is you are it to the purest form. Um, then how do you handle situations then when they're really rubbish? When you are really stuck and really in a jam, or something really horrible's happened.
Mm,
How do you approach it? Because a lot of people can find it, and me including, can find it really easy to be light and bright and positive
yeah,
when we've got a tailwind behind us, and when things are
yeah.
going well. And then when things go off the rails a bit, that's when people find it the most challenging to stay with that upbeatness. So what do you stay upbeat even through those times? What do you do?
Well, people cope and have, I guess, strategies to deal with things, don't they? And my strategy has always been to try and look after myself, because I can't control the circumstances around me, but I can certainly, have a go at controlling my mindset and how I feel. And so, one of the things when I have had to deal with very stressful, traumatic situations and events in my life, is that one, I've been very selective as to who I've opened up and shared those very personal, intimate things with, because it could be very easy just to sort of spread yourself thin and you just end up sort of not gossiping, but sharing too much information with too many people, and then you've got all these opinions and thoughts coming in. So I think that's been one of the things of being selective who I share that
I love
information with.
I love that. That's a great message, that when you are in some sort of turmoil, choose wisely a
Yes.
few people to share with, rather than it be constantly conversational with everybody and anybody. I get you.
Yeah, because it's so easy just to rant and to complain and to be negative about a situation or a person, but it's not changing the situation. I get that it's important to get things off your chest and to talk about it rather than keep everything in. But you don't need to talk about it to everybody. So I
Yeah.
think that's definitely one approach. And I think the other thing is around, you touched on it earlier around sort of well-being and fitness. So I had a very stressful time in my life about 4 or 5 years ago, and I literally ran away from it. I trained for a marathon. I threw myself into running nearly every day. And again, my circumstance was the same. I was having to deal with a very, very stressful time in my life, but it became less stressful because the endorphins and the friends that I made through the running that I did, and being social, and having that goal and aspiration. And I guess that leads on to the third point, is having that goal and aspiration and dream. And for me, it was to run that marathon and have that feeling of passing that finish line, and training for something, and setting up my own business and working for myself, and having the freedom of managing my own time and projects, and wanting to build a mindset and a lifestyle that in turn will hopefully make me financially free in years to come. And but I could have very easily sat at home, complained with the wrong people, and done nothing about my situation.
Mm. Mm. And the marathon, what time did you do it in? Did you set yourself a goal time for it, or just to survive it? What was your outcome?
Well, I've done 5 marathons now. Last one was in 2019. Yeah. So the first marathon, I did it in 4 hours and a half. And then my last marathon, I did it in just over 4 hours, which was in Amsterdam. I have to say the marathons that I have done are either York or Amsterdam, which are the most flattest marathons in Europe, probably the world as well.
Don't you downplay it, Hayley. 1 marathon blew my mind. 5,
Yeah,
flat or otherwise, and there are some bridges to run over in York.
there is. I think Heslington Road has one very steep hill going into the university, but no, it all served a purpose, a greater purpose than running, gaining the medal, and training with friends that mean everything to me.
Yeah. Well, I've seen you flying past me when I've been on the dog walks. And
Oh, okay.
and stop and chat and have time for a couple of minutes. I mean, I've got all on holding 2 retrievers back from jumping all over me, but still, whilst running a marathon, you have the sunshine spirit. And what really matters to you in life? Is it what, or is it who really matters to you in life?
Oh, Lisa, that's a nice question. What really matters?
You got a glass of wine? I mean, I know it's in the morning, but you should have a glass of wine.
No. Do you know what? I've not drank. I gave up alcohol for Lent, so I've not drank in over 4 weeks.
Oh, and how do you feel? How do you feel?
Do you know what? I feel fantastic. However, you give up one thing and then you start having something else. So I am eating a lot more chocolate and sugar than I should be. And this is a cup of coffee. But no, I won't be drinking now till Easter.
Okay. And have you missed it, and was it difficult? Because I'm sure we will get back to the question. I know that we've jumped over this, but how have you found giving up alcohol?
Do you know what? Easy, because I'm the type of person that will go weeks, if not months, in between, getting a bit tipsy, having a few drinks with friends. I never drink at home on my own. So for me, it's more of a social thing that I do. There's been a couple of situations where after a very busy, hectic day, I've wanted nothing more than to pour that large glass of red wine or a nice crisp gin and tonic. But you find sparkling water and a slice of lemon, it has a whole new meaning to me now. The taste.
In a wine glass.
In a gin and tonic glass with ice. So yeah, I've not missed it, but I will enjoy it when I allow it to touch my lips in a couple of weeks.
Have you felt a benefit in your body?
Yeah, you definitely sleep better. You're not. It's more the after effect, isn't it, of alcohol, where it's the food that you crave and want afterwards. It's the sugar and the carbs that you eat the next day when your head's not quite as clear as it should be, and it's the motivation as well. You're not as motivated to do as much the next day. So yeah, it's more the aftermath of what it does by giving it up.
I remember, well, I sort of accidentally gave up actually for your event that you booked me to speak at
I
12
remember this, yeah.
and because I wanted to feel, light and bright and confident. So I did a detox for a month and then accidentally never drank again.
Good for you.
What I realised at the time was how I'd got used to when I was drinking to feel
Yeah.
sluggish, and that was my norm: sluggish, tired,
Yes.
heavy everything. Not just heavy weight wise, but heavy everything. And then
Yeah.
once not drinking, and what I take for granted now, and I wish I didn't, is that
Yeah.
waking up in the morning feeling bright and ready for the day.
That's it.
It's quite interesting because I did drink too much. I did. But certainly what I love about not, and there's more that I love about not drinking than drinking. But
True.
and
Yeah.
when I've been to my juicy mountain retreats where we've done a week's worth of juicing, and lots of people
Yes.
sat there saying, "Oh, I'd like to give up drinking, but I've got that wedding and I'm at the races, or I couldn't do it. And I just think,
Yeah.
it is such a big thing for people because we associate alcohol with socialising, don't we?
We do, and it's like chocolate. You associate it to emotions. So if you're feeling stressed or anxious or you're celebrating, all the different forms of emotions that you crave, you associate with having a drink with. So yeah.
And so getting back to the big question that got us on to having a glass of wine conversation in the morning, is what matters to you. What if you had to give everything up in life with the exception of a couple of things or people, what would that be?
What matters to me is the ones that I love and cherish, the people that I want close by and sharing my life with. And I'd also say the things in life that are free, that don't cost you anything, going for a walk, feeling the fresh air against your face, nature, scenery, the things that take us away from, gadgets and our heads being, pulled in all different directions, and just pure stillness and peace and quiet that with the people that you love and cherish.
So it's not about anything materialistic, and not
No,
that I would thought it would be with you, but what's this period that we're in with the COVID-19 virus? Just if we just base this question is based on a massive assumption, and the assumption being that nature and life brings us what we need.
Yeah,
that's a massive assumption, not a fact, not proven to be true. But if that were true, that nature gives us what we most need, what have you found the benefit of this virus situation? Not the virus. I mean, I know people are critically ill, and it is not good at all.
Of course,
we've got these consequences around it that bring possible benefit. What do you feel they are?
Yeah, okay. So I guess really what we're living right now and showing examples of is being told what to do of things that we don't have any control over other than our actions of staying at home. So that's the only thing we have control over, is staying at home. So I think for me, a benefit or a byproduct of being in this situation is just what you do with your time at home. So for me, it's learning, and I'm still not getting it right in terms of being disciplined with your day, still creating and having routine in your day, and making the most of your day as well, because it can get to 3-4 o'clock and you think, oh, actually I've only dipped in and done a bit of work Well, I always get dressed, so but I do lounge around in a lot of sports gears because I'll go for a long walk, or I'll go for a run, and try and break my day down like that. But I will always get dressed and showered on a morning. So I think for me, it's the discipline of routine and structure. It's that whole thing about working smart with your time as well. But all these things that I want to carry forward and continue, and ensure that I maintain in my life when we, I say, get back to normal, but when things start to going back to how they used to be.
What would be the one thing? What is the one thing that you're doing now that you weren't doing before it, that you think, oh, that I definitely need to keep up doing or being?
I guess from a physical thing, I'm practicing yoga, and sort of meditation through the TV. So having the TV screen on, and practicing that in the living room. Whereas
Mm.
before, I've always gone to a class, which has been great because it's been social. I've made friends, but it also comes at a cost. So there's a cost saving exercise in actually doing it, on your own, sort of thing. So what was the question again, Lisa?
What's been the one thing that you didn't do before,
Oh, we didn't do before?
that you thought, oh, right, now that I'm doing that now, I definitely want to keep doing that.
Do you know what? I, I'm not as worried as I have been in the past, because I feel that everyone's in the same situation. So a year ago, I changed from being self-employed to setting up myself as a company, and I had 2 months of sort of putting together, sort of I guess a short list of the sorts of companies and individuals I wanted to work with. And I was really basically having to go out and sell myself. And I was looking ahead of the year thinking, my work calendar and my contracts is looking very slim. So I spent a lot of time worrying, trying to build my business.
Mm.
Whereas I'm in exactly the same boat now. I don't have any contracts, not really, till next year, or till when the industry starts to pick itself up again. And yeah, I will be, keeping in touch and maintaining that relationship and contact with clients, but I'm not worrying. I just think it will happen if it's meant to happen. If it doesn't, then other things will present itself in my life if I go out and and invest the right time and energy into things that's going to draw positives into my life.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Um, what are your pet hates?
What am I wasting a day?
Oh yeah. Mm.
um, Carrying something over to the next day or the next week that you should have done the previous week. um, um, just probably around maybe work ethic, of being applying and being your best, um, and overindulging in food and alcohol, because you always wake up with regrets.
Sounds like yeah, but those then turn into great memories in the future. Once
Very
you
true.
go through the feeling of regret, at some point in the future, they become something to laugh about.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and pet hates. I hate negative people, and that's quite a strong word for me to say, is hate. But I appreciate, like, even with the economy as it is, and the way the government are responding financially, it's the most generous package financially in any other country in the world. Like, we are in such a privileged position, and okay, I might have to be one of those people that have to apply for universal credits, and I'm going to be on, was it less than £100 a week? But it's something. There's a lot of countries that have nothing. So yeah, it's negativity is one of my pet hates as well.
Yeah, I so get. Well, it's a bit like throwing poison over you, isn't it? Because you're such a fire of positivity, and negativity is like somebody chucking water over you, putting it out. But I just think you must body swerve those.
Yeah. Away.
Interestingly, though, and this seems to be a conversation about your light and positivity, um, does it have a physical effect on you when you're around negative people, or do you have a mechanism that they actually don't impact you?
Um, they impact me in a way that I find people with that mindset tiring and draining, and I do switch off. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that people maybe expressing that feeling because something traumatic or upsetting's happened. And of course, in that circumstance, then of course I want to listen and support and be a listening ear. But it's whether that person is still facing that same circumstance many months, years later, and they haven't done anything about it, then, that can be a struggle because it's exhausting. And you're just there to listen. You're not able to provide any impact or support with that. So, I guess it's because I'm very fortunate in that I do surround myself and I have the most wonderful friends and family that share that same mindset, then it's rare that I'm around too much negativity.
For those that might be at home with people that this might not be bringing the best out in them, what little technique or tool or thought process might be helpful that you've applied in the past or that you know of?
Just little things every day. It doesn't have to be such a dramatic change, to create this new positive outlook and that everything's amazing and going great. Find little things to be grateful for, whether it's, something outside and, with nature, or, you did a 10-minute fitness, exercise. It could just be 10 minutes. It doesn't need to be a full hour where you're dripping of sweat. Just break some small habits that in turn are going to make a massive change, and they're going to give you the energy and the motivation that you need to help you in other things in life that will come as a consequence of you making those very small changes. And also writing things down, the gratitude or being thankful for things. You hear people writing little notes down and put them in a jar, and then at points of the year opening the jar and looking back at the things that they'd forgotten about and thought, oh yeah, someone did care and drop that note, or someone dropped some food off, or even called to check in, or that work contract came off, or that money came through. Just reminding yourself of all the little things that have provided whether it's a blessing or brought kindness into your life.
Yeah, love it. And just one last question then, darling. What impact? Heavy.
Okay. I'm writing this down. Yeah.
What impact do you want to have made in the world that you have?
The impact that I'd like to make. That is a very deep question, isn't it? The impact.
You really should have brought your wine drinking forward by for you,
I know. I should have sipped a gin and tonic and I'd be flowing. Impact. I think anything is possible. Anything. And with training and improving your mindset daily, and with the right people, that anything is possible. And in fact, when someone tells me you can't do that, I love that, because then that is my fuel for saying or showing that I can do it. So I don't know if that answers the question, but that's the first thing that came to mind.
It does. Anything that more people realise that anything is possible. And the thing that I love about what you just said, when somebody says you can't do that, really they put the wrong word at the beginning of that.
Yeah.
It's not you can't do it. It's
saying,
I can't do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I always remember my first day at university. I was 21 years old with a 2-year-old child, and when I stepped into university and I told my tutor, that I had this passion and love for doing events, and I wasn't sure what type of events, but it was going to be some form of events that was to bring people support and and something quite charitable and communicative as well. And the first thing that I was told was, you wouldn't be able to do that because you are a single parent, and you need to have family, someone at home to help you to work in events. And I thought, what a real negative advice to give, when really the focus should be on what I can achieve in events and the type of events that I want to, mature and get an understanding and do well in. Yes, there's practicalities of things at home that you need to apply to make it happen. But it was just something that I was like, no, I'm going to prove you wrong, that you can still work in events and you can, have a child at home and you can make it happen.
And you totally have. I mean, I know a couple of people that you helped with their events, and they think you're amazing, and you've helped me with mine. You bring, not only do you do the tasks that need to be done, but you bring life with you. So you
Oh,
having a child in no way has been limiting. So, in fact, the way
mm,
that you've lived your life, Hayley, has no way been limiting. You,
thank you.
my perspective, how you lived your life with your beautiful daughter is, I'm not going to shrink my life to be the size of my child's life. I'm going to
Yeah.
include in my life. So whatever we're doing, you went traveling, didn't you? Did you not go traveling?
I did, yes. When my daughter Abra was 5 months old, I took 6 months off, and yeah, we travelled across America and Australia, which was just
When
incredible.
she was
Yeah,
6 months old,
when she was 5 years old,
5 years
I did
old,
that. Yeah,
yeah. Um, sorry, it took 6 months and she was 5 years. Yeah,
yes,
because I saw the pictures on Facebook the other day and I thought, God, yeah, that I remember
yeah.
that now.
9 years ago, I was in Australia.
And then what an amazing experience, though, for her.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, just wonderful. Well, darling, is there anything that you feel that you'd love to share that people would benefit by knowing or hearing or believing or trusting before we go?
I guess final thought, because I've had that really annoying message that's come up to say my battery's running low, so I mustn't have charged my laptop for long enough. So yeah, final thought. I think uh, for everyone just to take each day as it comes. That's all we can do right now. Find the good and the positives in small little things, and just be the best that you can, and accept that some days we do have bad days, and some days are more challenging than others, but just find little things in each day that can bring joy, gratitude, and kindness. So that's my final thought for the day.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant life rules. I love it. Well, thank you so much, lovely. I have loved chatting to you.
Oh, thank you, sweet. And same to you, Lisa. I always admire, and I love the time that we spend together, and love watching all the work that you do to bring out the very good and the best in people. So thank you for everything that you're doing to support all of us in our individual journeys.
Oh, thank you, darling. Lots of love.
Okay. Take care.
Bye, lovely.